Hey, sorry. Hey everybody, Chris from 6 Wins, and I'm here with Matt, and we're breaking down 2 matchups here. Remember, we put all of these matchups up to vote on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and here on YouTube. And we're getting into the Sweet 16, so some of these matchups are really, really close. So the first matchup is number 1 seed, The Undertaker, versus number 4 seed, Rey Mysterio. Congrats on your Hall of Fame induction, by the way. And then the second matchup is The Game. Not gonna do it.
We don't have the water spit this time.
I'm not gonna do the water spit. Who was the number 3 seed versus number 2 seed, Brock Lesnar. Now, we like to start some of these breakdowns up with like fun questions, silly questions, and we have one today. Now, election season's kind of coming up, and we stay way out of politics. I don't care. I don't want to know what you think, whatever. But
I'm actually heavily involved in politics. I steal money from every political party rather than donate.
Oh, sweet.
To help myself.
Yeah, so help with Matt. Let's start a GoFundMe to help Matt steal political.
I need more thieving tools.
Yeah. So GoFundMe, you'll find it in the link below. Anyways, so here's what I want to know. So every election has what? A person running for president.
Yeah.
Another person running for president.
Yeah.
There's a vice president. And then there's what, like Supreme Court?
You want to have a Supreme Court justice. Those aren't voted on. Those are nominated in, but we could nominate them in.
So,
I'm sorry, I just realized that as we got to this point.
Side note, like, I know I learned about it growing up, but like, I don't know what like a legislator or a House of Representatives or electoral college means.
House of Representatives is a famous hip hop group from the early 90s.
Straight out of Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube. From the gang called niggas with attitudes. When I'm called on.
Who out of these 4, Undertaker, Rey Mysterio, Triple H, Brock Lesnar, who is our new president?
Oh.
Who is our new vice president?
Okay.
Who is our new Supreme Court justice?
Oh, I like that.
And then who is the presidential candidate that lost?
Okay.
Yeah.
So we gotta have a loser.
We gotta have a loser that would have been like maybe a good yang to the new president's yin.
This is tough. Undertaker, you know what? Actually, kayfabe Undertaker should be the Supreme Court justice because he's beyond human concerns, and so he is like making decisions kind of like a god or a deity on like case law that comes. So Undertaker is my Supreme Court justice, and I'm gonna have Triple H as president and Brock Lesnar as vice president, and Rey actually losing. I figured Rey was gonna be my vice president for the longest time, and I flipped the switch at the end because Rey's kind of often the bridesmaid, never the bride, even in wrestling and things like that. Triple H strikes me as the guy who's gonna like get up there and keep it a bit more like he can play kind of the sides that you want and be well spoken when he needs to be. Brock Lesnar has a little bit of a wild card, but that's good for a vice president. I almost picture the Key and Peele sketch of when Keegan-Michael Key plays Jordan Peele's anger translator. Jordan Peele would be Barack Obama and like be very calm like a Triple H would, and Keegan-Michael Key, the anger translator, might as well be a vice president at that point. It was like saying what he really meant. Brock Lesnar would, just bring the pain. So those are my 4.
Anyways, the first matchup we're breaking down, the number 1 seed, The Undertaker, versus the number 4 seed, Booyaka Booyaka, Rey Mysterio. What do you think on this one? This is a weird matchup.
Yeah, this was, Rey already had to go through his fair share of big giants, and to be fair, most of Rey's matchups in wrestling his whole career have been like that story of, David versus Goliath. This is, of course, the same story, but with a supernatural bend, if you will, for the Undertaker's character. And when talking about best WWE superstar and pulling it out of kayfabe and storyline, Undertaker is a higher level of respect and renown than Big Show. Then Andre the Giant, although some people might argue with that and think Andre the Giant has every bit of importance and renown as Undertaker, but he got upset in the first round. So as much as I personally love Rey, and like these are just like 2 completely opposite, like not opposite, but these guys both brought something so unique and different to wrestling. Rey, a smaller wrestler, bringing a more agile, high-flying style to the U.S., to mainstream popular U.S. wrestling. And Undertaker bringing like this sort of new supernatural character and gimmick. And both just were the best then and are still like the most recognizable as those like prototypes for those kinds of things. And so you almost have to ask yourself like, well, which one's more important or which one's better? And like as much as Lucha Libre style changed like wrestling in the US, like Undertaker, just everything about his career is so defined and so memorable and so important to wrestling and bringing storytelling and bringing like the theatrics and presentation. It's what makes wrestling different than real sports. There's an entertainment and an intentional entertainment aspect to it. So I love Rey. I'd have to go Undertaker.
Yeah, and I have to go the same. I have to go Undertaker. Just a brief thing. My favorite Rey Mysterio moment of all time is actually when Big Show strapped him to that gurney, and just like whacked him against the pole.
Yeah,
that was wild.
Crazy spot.
Yeah, super crazy spot because like his arms are pinned. Like you think like your backup would be to catch your fall, but he just face planted right into the ground. Wild. But yeah, I'm going Undertaker too.
Yeah.
And when we threw this up to a poll on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, The Undertaker won. Yeah. The Undertaker is moving on to the Elite Eight.
This was still a pretty big blowout for Undertaker. He hasn't really had any close matchups. I don't think we were thinking this would be a close one either.
No.
Even with like the Hall of Fame induction bump for Rey Mysterio and like kind of reassessing his career. I think we were figuring the first time we'd really even see a close matchup, let alone any chance to beat Undertaker, was next round going up against the winner of this next matchup. So who we got?
Yeah, Triple H and Brock Lesnar. They've had, some pretty good matches.
Yeah.
I remember when Lesnar first made his return. Him and Triple H had that match at, was it WrestleMania 28? No, 29. It was Lesnar Triple H. It was the WrestleMania where it was Rock versus Cena 2. It was Taker Punk and Triple H Brock Lesnar. I think there was some sort of stipulation like no holds barred because Lesnar was just going on this tear.
Yeah.
And he did like the Kimura lock where like kayfabe, he would like break their arm, but he would really just like shift it like an edge, and then they'd be like, "Oh my God, he broke! He broke his arm!"
He'd move it back, out of pressure, and then back like into the same pressure, but it looked like it snapped it. Yeah. There goes Mark Henry's arm.
Mark Henry's always taking these falls. But man, this was close. We had Lesnar at the 2 slot and Triple H at the 3 slot. What do you think about this one?
Man, I've already made kind of my own personal bias against Triple H known, and I know it's like a flawed perspective. For whatever reason, there's something about him that I don't like or don't trust, that he's like as great as everyone says he is. I think like he's kind of sneaky behind the scenes, which shouldn't affect maybe how I view him as a WWE superstar, but I don't know. I just get like vibes that like he's slept his way to the top. Married the boss's daughter and has always kind of had like a group of guys like out for each other, and I don't know, it just seems a little unsavory. So I kind of hold that against him. If I were being honest, I would pick Triple H, but I love Brock Lesnar. I still get fired up when I see him. I know there's like his return, several years ago when he came back and was Brock Lesnar, the beast and on a tear, was started to get a little annoying because it was just like a foregone conclusion, and you couldn't even book anybody realistically. You were just like, even if this guy does beat him, this is gonna be a bad match. I'm not gonna buy into it. This makes no sense. But they figured out a formula to still make his matches entertaining after a year or two. And I love anytime he comes out. I love the intensity and the kind of like scariness his matches bring. But Triple H has great matches too. Like Triple H is a master of that long, little bit slower paced match where like some guy maybe like they target an injury that happens in the match. I don't know. He has great in-ring psychology. I'll give him that over almost anybody in this bracket still. Like he's a master of like storytelling within a match. So I'd go Triple H. I want to go Lesnar. I love Brock Lesnar, but And I thought Triple H would win this based on how the polls got, because Lesnar snuck by Batista. It was a little bit closer than we thought, and Triple H blew out Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
So I was thinking Triple H was going to win this one.
Yeah. They're really close in terms of just like entertainment value of their matches. Triple H has had some bangers. Lesnar's had some bangers, but in my opinion, they both had some duds. Like when Triple H and Roman Reigns headlined, maybe that was more like the story. Like nobody really cared. Yeah. Triple H had like won the Royal Rumble by a fluke. He was coming in champ, I think. That was kind of a dud. And then Lesnar, like he got into the same cycle of just like, oh, how many German suplexes is he gonna hit this guy with? But then they Lesnar had that. I keep talking about it, the triple threat with Cena and Rollins. Those are my favorite matches of all time. Royal Rumble 2016, I think. But so for me, they're neck and neck when it comes to just like my enjoyment of their in-ring matches. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to go Triple H just because I think his ability to play heel and face, slight notch above Lesnar.
Yeah.
And every time Lesnar's gotten better, but like every time he picks up a microphone, I'm like, what's he gonna flub this time? Like, where's the botch coming? But Triple H has always been like master on the mic. Really, he has. So I'm gonna have to go Triple H for that reason.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah. And then when we put it up to a vote, there was kind of close, kind of sort of close, but in this one, Triple H did come out on top. Yeah. So our Elite 8 matchup, we're gonna get Undertaker versus Triple H. We're gonna see who's gonna win the voting because their match at WrestleMania, whatever. End of an era.
End of an era. This is a real end of an era. Well, end of this region. We're gonna find out the winner. Undertaker